Check this out. Looks like we have a hurricane off the coast of British Columbia. These are the surface winds. We're looking at 52-mile-an-hour winds hitting the banks. I haven't looked at the ocean wave heights. So yeah, we got more king tides coming in. 28-foot waves. But that actually affected our forecast from a couple of weeks ago. We're going to jump into a few things here. Kind of a late start for me. I didn't really have a lot of time to get this thing going, but okay, there we go. All right, we'll come back to this. Coming out of the Manila Times, cracks could lead to bigger eruption. It's come out today. Experts warned on Tuesday that the Taal volcano could grow or throw up a bigger and more dangerous eruption as the ground fissures have starting to appear in several towns near the volcano. The roads are all starting to crumble. I mean, this could get big time. So the head of the Volcano Monitoring and Eruption Prediction Division of the Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology said the cracks on the ground were caused by seismic activity. She explained that these fissures signified continuous magmatic intrusions beneath the volcano. They explained that the earthquakes and cracks on the ground were signs of the volcano's unrest. He said these could lead to a hazardous explosive eruption. And a lot of that's because of the water. When you get the magma hitting the water, it creates just a mega explosion. And it's actually going to happen in Hawaii too. That volcano is filling back up with water. So when that thing refills with magma, man, it's going to pop just like this thing. Let's see here. It means the volume of the magma is increasing, which can fuel the volcano's eruption. Fissures were found in the villages. Tons of the villages. Big cracks were also seen on the roads, making travel dangerous. I mean, they just got tons of fissuring going on all around this volcano. Here, let me play this here. See if we get anything. I don't want to see that, but I want to see the... Look at all that ash and nastiness. I think I got another article here, but I have some better pictures, yeah. Coming out of strange sounds. So it's being hit by hundreds of volcanic earthquakes, resulting in deep earth cracks. The ground is so cracked up that parts of the river is drying up. So there's some pretty good photos in here. So we got enhanced seismic activity. So the Philippine Seismic Network recorded a total of 520 volcanic earthquakes since 1 p.m. on January 12th. 169 of these were felt. January 15th, 53 volcanic earthquakes hit the volcano. 12 were felt with intensities ranging from 1 to 3. Man, they're going to have to evacuate this whole area. Let's take a look at some of these pictures coming off Twitter. So yeah, that's some, look at all the ash mixed in there. So yeah, that's going to make it hard to escape if you don't have roads. You know, this is signs of some major stuff going on. So the roads are opening up. The ground is cracking, uplift. So major things are about to happen over here. That's major movement. Look at they're all built on poles too. Let me close some of this out as we go. So anyway, heads up for out there, man. We're fixing to see something maybe bigger than we've seen ever. So we'll just have to see how this plays out here. It could be any time, any day. Well, while that's going on, we got more tyranny with the alphabet gangs. This just come out a couple days ago. Outrageous. Officials furious. FEMA is seeking money from the California wildfire victims. Campfire survivor Danielle Patrick was livid to hear the federal government may try to carve out money from the PG&E Corporation bankruptcy money that was supposed to go to the victims like her. She had to go to the FEMA Chico office 12 times after she and her husband lost their home, livelihoods after November 2018 disaster. They still have not seen a dime. The federal loan that was approved so they could rebuild, they haven't got anything. Even if they had gotten the money from FEMA, it would still upset me because you don't pay taxes, and you kind of hope your lowest point of low after something like this that your government can step up and help you. It's more of a headache than the fire, honestly. Yeah, they're not going to help you. The government is never going to help you. Look what's going on down in Australia. Same thing. They burnt the whole area up. Then they bring in the rains to wash away the evidence. And then eventually they'll make the people pay for it. Now I got some crazy video footage of a couple different complications that I'm working on. I didn't have time today, but I'll get that going here very soon. And more freaky news. Meet the Xenobot, the world's first living self-healing robots created from frog stem cells. So this is supposedly the world's first living self-healing robot using stem cells from frogs. Now these things are real little. They're less than a millimeter, and they are small enough to travel inside human bodies. They can walk, swim, survive for weeks without food, and they work together in groups. These are entirely new life forms, said the University of Vermont, which conducted the research. This is nuts stuff, man. More Frankenstein stuff. The researchers scraped living stem cells from the frog embryos, left them to incubate. Then the cells were cut and reshaped into a specific body form designed by a supercomputer, forms never seen in nature, according to a news release from the Vermont University. And they even they cut one of these up, and it grew back and healed itself and kept going. So the cells then begin to work on their own. Skin cells bonded to the form structure, while pulsing heart muscle cells allowed the robot to move on its own. The Xenobots even have self-healing capabilities. When the scientists sliced into one robot, it healed itself and kept moving. They call them novel living machines. They're neither a traditional robot nor a known species of animal. It's a new class of artifact, a living, programmable organism. What could go wrong with this? So these things don't have no shiny gears or robotic arms. Instead, they look more like a tiny blob of moving pink flesh. And they say the researchers said this is deliberate. The biological machine can achieve things typical robots of steel and plastics cannot. And of course, they're going to say it's going to help climate change. Traditional robots degrade over time, can produce harmful ecological and health side effects. As biological machines, Xenobots are more environmental friendly and safer for human health, the study says. How would they know? It's a new form. It's an alien. They say these Xenobots could be used to clean up radioactive waste, collect microplastics in the oceans, carry medicine inside human bodies, or even travel into our arteries and scrape out plaque. The Xenobots can survive in aqueous environments without traditional nutrients for days or weeks, making them suitable for internal drug delivery. Do they die? There's a lot more questions that need to be asked. And just think, if these things get away, what if they mutate? What if they mutate and start going into other people, living people, and turning them into zombies? I mean, who knows? So, more mad scientist news. 6 ways volcanoes benefit Earth, our environment. So as these ash plumes gush tens of thousands of feet into the atmosphere, will send nearby residents into panic. Volcanic eruptions related to earthquakes have been known to wipe out neighborhoods and claim thousands of lives. The Indonesia volcano was the largest eruption ever recorded, killed nearly 100,000 people directly and indirectly in the 1815 according to history.com. This is that one that went off that I've been talking about the last couple of days. It was a year without a summer. So they say, oh, it works for atmospheric cooling, land formation. You know, that's how the Hawaiian Islands come into existence. Fertile land. I thought, you know, all this stuff was bad for the earth. Geothermal energy, raw materials. Sulfur, copper, gold are produced from volcanic activity. Yeah, and even diamonds. Diamonds are brought up to the surface from the mantle in a rare kind of magma called kimberlite. Hey, why it wipes out hundreds of thousands of people and turns the earth into an ice age. Hey, they're good for you. You know, everything they say, it's like the exact opposite. Bomb cyclone bearing down on the west coast of the U.S. Remember what we said 2 weeks ago, the 16-day forecast? 2 weeks ago, we called for bomb cyclones, both coasts. But what I wanted to address before I go on, I got a lot of crappy comments over the forecast way back on January 5th, 2 weeks ago. Actually, 10 days ago, I had a bunch of comments call me mother effer and everything because I said it was going to snow down here in Texas on between the 17th and 18th. And if you look at this map, this is back then. And then you look at the map right now, they just didn't, the weather engineers just don't have the cold air pushing down. They're going to get an ice storm and they'll get their snow, but it's going to be about a week late. But it's still, if you look at this map and you go back 10 days, this map looks almost entirely the same. The only issue is they didn't get the polar vortex air pushed down, push this on the temperatures. See, they got it parked right over the north. They need this thing to shift down just a little bit more. They're a little bit behind schedule. So you're still going to get ice and sleet, but you're not going to get the snow and stuff for another few days. So it's just a little bit behind. But yeah, I got a bunch of crappy comments. And then they were commenting a week before it happened. So here's the snowfall amounts in Texas and in New Mexico by the 17th. So it's just not going to go all the way down into Mexico till later in the week when they get the polar vortex air pushed down. And then the snow starts hitting down here in Mexico. And we're talking, 30 inches of snow down in the Mexico mountains. So it's there. It's just running a few days behind. So for all the people out there that were being a-holes, man, there you go. It's still there. It's just the weather engineers didn't get it close enough. They didn't get the cold air pushed down quick enough. But it's coming. Anyway, the blob, a huge marine heat wave, killed nearly 1 million seabirds in the biggest known die-offs of its kind. This was updated just a couple hours ago. Hey, thanks out there, Cosmic Squirrel. Much love out there. Thanks for helping us. So back in 2015, 2016, about 62,000 dead or dying common murres, a North Pacific seabird, washed up in Alaska and California. I thought this was by the blob down off of New Zealand. It's Australian news here. Let's see where it gets to here. So this must be more up in North America. Hold on, let me look at something. So let's look at the heat blobs. So there's really no heat blob up here. And this one's really spreading out. What's the date on this article? Did I get an old article or some crap? No, 2 hours ago. All right, this is definitely where I didn't think it was. So only a fraction of the dead birds made it to shore, and a total number of deaths was estimated to be close to millions of birds. So they think this was the largest seabird die-off in recorded history. Compounding the deaths, at least 22 colonies completely failed to produce any offspring over several breeding seasons. Now a major study has concluded that the die-off was a result of a huge disruption to energy flow through food webs precipitated by the blob. The unprecedented mass of warm, nutrient-poor water that emerged off the Pacific coast in 2013. So this is all from the Fukushima, and they're trying to blame it on the heat blob. This is bunker fuel. So yeah, this is old stuff. Wait, week 37, September 2019. Let's just go check it. Oh, so we did have a little blob out here, but this was from all the bunker fuel. All right, well, I don't know why they're making it like a new article now, but they're going to say it's from the heat blob, but it was a man-made heat blob. And then you also have all the Fukushima fallout from the same area that's been killing off stuff all forever. Not to mention the 10,000 bags of radioactive waste that was floated out in the ocean from the typhoon. And this come out of the Second Amendment Daily News. New Zealand authorities are using old social media posts as grounds for raids on gun owners after confiscation flopped. Kim Era might have reported on this already. So a conservative New Zealander blogger recently shared the harrowing tale of his family's visit from 20 armed police in response to an old Facebook post. Yeah, I did report on this. Anyway, he had an old 22. And they'd come in and just confiscated, tore his whole house up. They never did find the gun because he didn't have it anymore. And but they just ripped his whole house apart, never found the gun, and just messing with them. And this is what we're gonna start seeing, man. They want to take everybody's gun everywhere. They don't want you to be able to fight back. They want you to use sticks and stones. So heavy rain, 40-mile-an-hour winds and snow in the Bay Area forecast. Well, when you see how bad they're chemtrailing, you're going to know why. So right where they did the dump of the chemicals over, now it's up to like 14 schools now that got hit with the fuel dump. And we got more propaganda news. Scientists, ocean warming at a rate of 5 A-bombs per second. I mean, nobody can believe this stuff. It's about 5 Hiroshima bombs of heat every second, every day and night for 365 days a year. After analyzing data from the 1950s through 2019, an international team of scientists determined that the average temperature of the world's ocean in 2019 was 0.075 degrees Celsius, which is 0.135 degrees Fahrenheit higher than the 1981 to 2010 average. That might not seem like a significant amount of warming, but given the massive volume of the oceans, an increase that even a small would require a staggering influx of heat. Well, hey, don't worry about any of this heating because we have volcanic flumes going off, plumes of volcanic dust covering the sky. We got fire dust covering the sky. And then we got mass geoengineering products going over the whole planet, and they're going to call it climate restoration. It's going to turn us into an ice age. In case of an emergency, cash is gold. In a horrific scenario, bushfire is raging, the power is down, you need to evacuate. Well, come to find out, I just reported the other day how now in Australia, you can face 2 years in jail for trying to spend more than $10,000 in cash. They'll put you in jail for 2 years for having $10,000 in cash. Hell, you can hardly buy granite countertops for that much for your kitchen. And now, many gas stations, with all the fires, the power's down, so they're not able to take these crappy bank cards, and they can only accept cash, but nobody has cash anymore. That's another thing. What are they going to do if we did get hit by EMP or something like that, or a big solar flare, and all the banking systems went down, or it was intentional, a hack? This is why everybody needs to keep some cash on hand. At least at the beginning, before the chaos really gets into full swing, you got to wait, at least gas up, get the hell out of where you're going. And they want to get rid of the cash. So that's another thing. Besides taking the guns, keep the cash. I mean, it's just a note anyway. All right, so coming out today, toxic chemicals stole 160 million IQ points from American kids and it's costing the U.S. trillions of dollars in a new study. Shocking new research indicates that not only pesticides and flame retardants cause unprecedented levels of irreversible childhood brain damage, but the knock-on effects have cost the U.S. economy trillions of dollars. The latest research from New York indicates the PBDs were the greatest contributor to IQ loss, intellectual disability among American children, resulting in a total of 162 million IQ points lost and over 738,000 cases of intellectual disability. Many children were likely exposed in utero to many household objects are known to contain at least trace amounts of those harmful toxins. This exposure is proved to be harmful to developing nervous systems. We can thank Monsanto and Bayer and all these other places. And we reported on these same things forever. All the stuff, from the fracking getting in the water aquifers, and they talk about the rain retardant here. So now think of Australia, Tasmania, all the places with the fires, all that stuff is in the water systems. And now they're coming out with this. Scientists warn Australia could become too hot and dry for human habitation. I mean, how can this is coming out of the MSLSD, the MSN? Now, if this isn't fear porn, what is? So, global warming somehow is only existing over certain parts of Australia, and it could become so hot that humans can't live there. And then they're coming out with the calling conspiracy about the fires. Man, the only conspiracy is the mainstream media. The Bureau of Meteorology warns of flash flooding as rain forecast to bring bushfire relief across New South Wales. Exactly like the Paradise Fires. California was in a drought for how long? 5 years. Magically, a mega fire goes off, induced by laser weaponry. And then, as soon as the fires were done, the atmospheric river was completely steered exactly over the same exact target. And they flooded the whole area out where they had mudslides, landslides, washed away every bit of the evidence of the fires and how the fires start and all the fire accelerants that were going on. After these rain bombs hit, because that's what it's going to be, then they're going to have landslides, mudslides, liquidation with all the ash and the dust. So this is just going to spread the poison farther. The ground's not going to be able to soak in the water right. I mean, this is the same thing that happened in California in 2018. They go to a certain script, man. So we know what countries are droughting out. We know there's eventually going to be fires. Then they're going to flood it out. And eventually famine, all that crazy stuff. Now, this is pretty crazy. This breaking Israel news. Snow falls on Mount Sinai. I don't know how to pronounce that. So a cold front passed over Egypt last week, generating freezing temperatures. Generated a rare snowfall on Friday. So they got this freaky mega snowstorm. Well, we know who caused it. We've seen all the aerosols that were being deployed. Even Israel got chemtrailed a few times right before the storm hit. And then the weather generators were online. So this is all more man-made. They want to green the desert. They love this stuff. One thing I think, we're battling against the dark side. Yeah, Kangaroo Island's definitely messed up. That's because it's got lithium on it. They're clearing the land to get to the lithium, start some lithium mines. Now, I was thinking, we're not fighting humans. I mean, there is, humans that work for the dark side. But, the way they're terraforming the planet, this is a really old article that I covered way back in 2014, 2015. And they had created a particle that allows humans to live without breathing. This was designed by scientists. There's tons of articles that come out about this. So in a medical emergency, getting a patient oxygen can be a matter of life and death, but thanks to an invention by a team of scientists at the Boston's Children's Hospital, the medical community may have a quick fix for such situations. It's a particle that allows humans to live without breathing. So they've had this out for a long time. Or these people, maybe they're taking this drug and they don't need oxygen. But just throwing that out there. We're looking at the whole United States here. Massive spraying operation in two parts of California, Northern California and Southern California. Mass spraying going on over Georgia, Alabama, Florida, Gulf of Mexico, Texas. Like every cloud we're looking at is almost man-made. And then you got just this super string cloud up here. Let's go ahead and check the worldview map. In fact, let's go look at the rain. Down here, here's Tasmania right here. And what we could show you, let's see if this will load. Yeah, it's still not loaded, but before I jump to the United States, let's go all the way back to yesterday. Before the rain, and look at the chemtrails being deployed right in the rain areas, right in the fire zones. We had the crazy square cloud down here the day before. But you have aerosols being deployed all over this area to help pull the moisture in. Also got the frequencies, but yeah, there's tons of aerosols being deployed right here. When you go to today, you can see all them chemtrails along with the radars and the antenna arrays pull the moisture right on up. Same thing they do in the United States. So right here where the main spraying operation was, it's where all the moisture's coming in. In fact, they're still spraying. So all the moisture's coming in. Let's go ahead and go up and our little system spitting up there. Ooh, we got a weird spraying operation over Alaska. We got a weird spraying operation over Alaska at a bunch of frequencies. We have a bunker fuel ship up here in the Bering Sea. So it looks like they're still working on pulling down the cold air mass. A little bit of aerosols over Alberta, BC. Really hard to see. But here's where the spraying operation is, the big one. So if you're in California and you're looking out into the ocean area, man, you're seeing nothing but a chem fog, aerosols being deployed all over San Francisco. And this spraying operation goes all the way through Nevada, through Utah. So that's a big spraying operation. That's the northern spraying operation. So it's taking up a huge part of California. And then they got a secondary spraying operation down over Los Angeles, San Diego. Yeah, X's out here in the Pacific. And remember the huge bunker fuel operation yesterday? Now it's only down to like a couple ships. We got just a few ships. I think that was yesterday when there was just a mega. Oh yeah, they were all up here. They're up here around Alaska, probably reloading the bunker fuel. So we only have a couple ships out here today. They're creating a toxic mess down here over the Bajas, Mexico, spraying all over the Gulf of Mexico. Look at that. you let that stuff clear up, man, you can see them deploying the weather control, deploying the nanobots, the nanoparticulates, the stuff's getting into our bloodstreams. It thinks that they're Sterling. I think I missed you earlier. Spraying operation coming out of New Orleans, headed towards Florida. Then straight down. Got a couple rogue sprayers down here. Get that to load a little better. So tons of spraying going on in the Gulf of Mexico. What is this? What is this? Is this a crack or a river? Man, there's a lot of frequencies right there. Hold on, let me look at some here. Whoa. Man, you could definitely see this, the sprayers going on in Missouri, in northern Missouri, but check out that cloud. Right there, look at this opening in the cloud, like a beam is coming down. It's another one of them clouds where they just drop off. Look at the frequencies in the clouds. This thing's definitely being hit with microwaves. It's like a cookie cutter has cut out the cloud, and a whole section of the cloud has dropped tons of feet. We've been seeing this a lot this year. So they're setting up for the storm that's getting ready to come over Kansas, Missouri over the next few days. In fact, let's go ahead and go take a quick look at that. Go ahead and go check what's happening here over just here on the next couple of days here. So we got what looks like a hurricane up there in British Columbia. Get this back. And here's the storm that's forming right now. So going into Friday, we're looking at a pretty major ice storm. A little bit of snow. Oh, wow, they're updating the forecast models. All right, well, that's not going to help us. Maybe we can just get the precipitation forecast. You got heavy rains coming in North California, Washington. Wind weapons. Trying to see what the system. So yeah, here's where it's going to get pretty. Look at the heavy amounts of rain down in Texas. Now, if that cold front could have got down here, that would have been a snowstorm. Now it's just going to be an ice storm. Ooh, that's a big band of rain there. I wonder if that's going to stay off the coast. So it's not going to really form too big time. Look down here in Florida. You got some heavy, heavy, heavy rains. A couple of inches every few hours. All right, let's go ahead and finish on this. I'm going to kind of blast through this. I'm pretty tired, so you get all these. Look, we got a brand new spraying operation right here where the chemical plant exploded. Guess what they're doing? God, look at that grid. Look at that grid that goes all the way over from Barcelona all the way up. Man, that's a pretty thick grid right there. So all over here in the Mediterranean, or this is the Balearic Sea. I guess over here is the Mediterranean Sea. But man, you got tons. Look at this chemtrail blasting out here. So right where the chemical plant, they must be trying to wash away whatever come out of that plant that they didn't talk about. So this spraying operation goes all the way down into Algeria. You have weather modification going on in Algeria. Lithuania. Poland's getting smacked down with the aerosols. This is all man-made weather. Tons of frequencies, aerosols being deployed, causing snow. Look, they're spraying again over here in the Red Sea. Let that load up. Where's the fire spots, man? There's always like fire spots out here. Look, we got a weird dust storm. Hey, is that where I think it is? Hold on, let me back out. It is. Remember, the weather generators want to put a weather generator right here in Jeddah. And we keep seeing these weird dust storms. And I need that to clear up. This is the same place that dust storm appeared the other day before the rain. So you got the chemtrails. And then there's another dust storm up here. Right where the other chemtrails are. Yeah, I'm not kidding too. They want to put another weather generator over here in Jeddah. I think it's already built. We got aerosols over Iraq still for a couple days in a row now. This is the least sprayed spot on the planet right there. I mean, they get it, but not very often. Yep, there was the spraying operation. So back on the 13th, you got a huge spraying operation all over up here, even over Israel. And now they got snow in, where places where it normally don't snow. And that's because of the weather generators over here in Dubai. All right, I'm just kind of looking around here, trying to finish up. All right, that's probably good on the worldview map. Go over here and just check out this operation on the West Coast. Remember, if they got the solar power, if they got the wind turbines, that creates weather. Showed that last night. So they're really targeting this area with the aerosols. Here, I forgot to turn the enhancement on. Now you can see just how bad they're spraying over California in two areas. All of Nevada and Utah is getting just smacked down with aerosols. Big time spraying right there. Here, let's try to zoom in just a little more on that because I like to document it when we see it real good. Without the planes up here, there wouldn't be no clouds. These are all man-made clouds by the aircraft, by the drones. Don't forget they got ground-based cloud seeders on the ground running constantly. So, wow, look at these weird formations. I don't know if you guys can see that in Southern California. It looks like they were spraying backwards question marks. Or S's or something. And what they do, they spray this and they use the top of the mountains, the cold air, to help interact with the aerosols. There's some more of them weird formations right there. There's some more U shape. You had the same thing down here. Let's see if I can go up a little bit. See if we can catch that one a little better. So all man-made clouds right here. And we're getting some very odd flight paths. Yeah, I'm not going to catch that U shape. I'm too far up. Look at Nevada. Almost the whole state of Nevada is underneath a chemical sky. Insane. And it's pretty funny because when you listen to the NASA people that talk about how they're trying to adjust the chemtrails from the biofuels, it's only getting worse. Like they're making it worse. Wow, look at that pulse. Not really a pulse, but they got this radar just cranked up right here. All of them are doing like they're like all in searchlight mode right now. But you got the wind farms, solar farms right there. Look at that's all the wind farms, solar farms that are affecting the moisture. All these little lit up little green and yellow and red areas, that's the wind farms. Look at that. They're definitely zapping this to create the storm for tomorrow. Got a pretty good line of strong storms going through Tennessee, Alabama. See what kind of warnings are out right now. See, we already have right where they're zapping everything, right where the next rad's cranked up, and they're all beaming out. Watch the weather, the winter weather watches pop up. Look, there's no moisture, no clouds over here at all. The only rain systems up here, snow is up there and coming off the west coast, and then all the chemtrails over here. So look at that. They're just all working together. This is like the internet of everything of the sky grid right here. You got chaff down here off Southern California. Watch, here comes the chaff signatures. That's not rain. That's the military chemtrails. And look, winter warnings without any kind of moisture signatures coming from anywhere. All right, guys, I'm going to lose my voice, so I'm going to go ahead and jump off here. Much love. No fear. We got to keep on going no matter what. Anyway, guys, much love. Catch you tomorrow night, Guy Willie. Here we go. Let's crank it up. Let's play a song called Rise. People need to rise. It's running out of time.